Hello, my name is Carlos Perez, and this is my research case study presentation. New York Times versus Sullivan. The first case to be examined is Plaintiff Sullivan versus Defendant the New York Times. This case is from 1964. What led to this defamation suit was because of the New York Times printing an advertisement about the civil rights movement in the South that defamed the plaintiff. The plaintiff was one of the three commissioners of Montgomery, Alabama, who claimed he was defamed from an article written by the New York Times titled Heed Their Rising Voices. The article did not name anyone in specific when talking about police action directed to students protesting in civil rights demonstration, but the plaintiff Sullivan claimed that it indirectly mentioned him since he was one of the officers whose duties was to supervise the other officers. Since the plaintiff was a public official, in order for the court to award damages to him, Sullivan had to prove that there were actual malice intended and that the article was published knowing the information or some of the information was false or incorrect. In the end of this case, the plaintiff was awarded $500,000 in damages since the New York Times never verified how accurate the information they published was. Gertz versus Welch. The last case to be examined is Chicago lawyer Elmer Gertz versus publisher Robert Welch. Both parties were private citizens. In this case, lawyer Gertz once represented the family of a victim that died in the hands of a police officer. Welch, a publisher, then published an article, American Opinion, in which he stated that Gertz is part of a communist conspiracy and cover-up to discredit the local police in order to create a national police mandated by a dictator. While the case was ongoing, it was confirmed that Welch never did anything to confirm these allegations or provide any evidence to them. Yet he stated in this article that the author had conducted extensive research into the Richard Nuzio case. I believe that allegations of this sort would have hurt Gertz's reputation a lot as a lawyer, especially in those days that communism was a really scary word. When it comes to Welch, I will start by corroborating anything that gets published by me or others in my company, because nobody gets sued for defamation by speaking the truth. In Florida, the state that I reside, law dictates that in order to have a successful defamation lawsuit, the defendant must publish a false statement about the plaintiff to a third party, and the false statement must cause injury to the plaintiff. A plaintiff must also prove that the defendant's fault in publishing the statement amounted to at least negligence. To conclude, I believe that the most valuable lesson I have learned from this case and other defamation cases is that it is crucial to make sure that whatever information you publish is backed by actual facts, especially if they affect the reputation of others, or else you could get sued for defamation.